I worked on a 3-year business plan, which was super hard. And as most beginners, beginning entrepreneurs, I had a hard time coming down to it because it looked to me like a bullshit type of exercise, like a crystal ball type of exercise. Like, I'm launching a product from scratch. Nobody knows I exist. There is a market out there, but how do you expect me to have any kind of accuracy telling you what I'm going to be selling a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now? So initially it sounded to me like a whole bullshit drill that you have to go through to go and speak to bankers and investors. But then I quickly realized that it's not about you getting a very precise number. Your business plan will be wrong from day one. So the only time when your business plan is right is on day 0, before you start selling anything. As soon as you start selling stuff, your business plan goes wrong, quote unquote, versus your prediction. It never goes the way you predicted. It always goes slightly or majorly below target or above target, depending, but it's never what you actually envisioned in the actual business plan. But then you realize it doesn't matter. What matters when you write the business plan is writing the business plan is about trying to take into consideration the 360 degrees of what's going to affect your business. How does the sales of your growth, how does that impact your bottom line? How does the rise of your cost of goods impact your bottom line? How does paying yourself a salary after 3 months or 6 months or waiting for a year before you get a salary from your company, how does that affect your bottom line and your ability to invest more cash in the development of your range, for example? What can you afford or not afford depending on your sales going like this, or like that, or actually, staying below what you envisioned, or going like that, or going like this and being irregular when you thought they would be like this. Your sales are sometimes going like this, and then they kind of plateau, and then they go down a little bit, and then they go up some more. And what happens when it does that? Basically, what does that do to your cash flow? What does that do to your cash needs in general? And how does that affect the entire thing and your ability to plan further developments, or the necessity to stop planning further developments and brace for impact? It allows you to identify the point at which, for sure, there is going to be a need for you to brace for impact. If you have not envisioned that, then you might reach that point when it's necessary for you to brace for impact because things are not going to go well. You will have reached that point and you will not see it. If you have worked on a business plan, you have a better idea of what that point is going to look like, so that you can recognize it when you're staring at it 6 months down the road or a year and a half down the road. So it took me a while to realize that the whole point behind writing a business plan was to challenge your ability to envision the whole thing and to envision the impact of each and every one of the 360 degrees of the things that are going to affect your business. So it trains your mind. It trains your mind to recognize the good moments, the bad moments, and have a clear idea of what you can do when those moments happen. So I wrote that business plan. It was wrong by a year, which is actually not that bad. I initially envisioned that I'd be selling 300K in the first year, 900K in year 2, and $1.6 million in year 3. What happened is that year 1, I sold 61K, which was 5 times lower than I originally envisioned. But then in year 2, I sold 337, and in year 3, I sold almost 900,000. And in year 4, I sold over $1.7 million. So actually, I was pretty accurate. I was just a year behind in terms of my business plan. Something which many entrepreneurs more experienced than me told me, hey, not that bad at all. Being off by a year is not bad at all. Most people are off by 5 years. Most people are off by much larger amounts than I was off. So it wasn't all that bad, but I'm glad I did it, and I still apply the whole business plan and the business planning logic every year when I write up the budget for next year. What can I afford next year if my sales do this? What can I not afford if my sales go like this? And what happens if I hire this guy in February instead of waiting until August to hire someone like that? And what are the impacts going to look like, and how much cash does that give me, and how much comfort does that give us, or is it taking us too close to a point where we're paralyzed by fear because we're just operating on a very, very thin margin or very thin cash flow? So it's very very helpful to have this whole business planning logic at work.